because I'm an old lady. What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Meghliana and I wanted to make an updated version of my menstrual cup video. I started using menstrual cups back in August or September of last year, and I did share my experience on my channel. If you want to watch that video, I'll link it somewhere here. But since then I've had quite an interesting learning curve, a few pros and cons, some tips that I wish I knew earlier, and I receive a lot of questions about menstrual cups who are wanting to make the shift but are still like on the fence about it. So I thought, why not make a video and answer all those questions and also share my experience along the way. So that's what we're doing today. 121 million women use sanitary pads, which adds up to 1 billion for a month and 12 billion pads in a year. 90% of a pad is composed of plastic, which takes 500 to 800 years to degrade, which eventually converts to microplastic and further amplifies the plastic problem. Pads that do get disposed properly end up in the already overflowing landfills or are incinerated, which releases dioxins into the atmosphere. You know, disposing of my pads was something I hated. Hate the feeling of knowing that somebody else has to deal with my disposed pads, my menstrual waste. That is one major pro of this thing. So I put up this story on my Instagram a few months back and I didn't expect to receive a lot of questions, but I was pleasantly surprised. The first question is, can you go back to sanitary napkins, and is alternating between the two a good option? For myself, I do not think I will be able to go back to sanitary napkins because you just get so used to feeling nice and dry and almost actually forgetting that you're on your period. Obviously, a cup requires much more effort. It's much easier to kind of change your pad, but other than that, I think it's really worth it. Monday I was out and I didn't have my cup on me. That's a little disadvantage of menstrual cups, but I had to wear a pad for a few hours and I was like dying to get back home and take the pad off and put my cup back in. You can definitely alternate, maybe like towards the end of your cycle you can put on a pad, but I just don't do that. I wear my cup throughout. A lot of people ask me how to choose the right size of the menstrual cup. Every brand has different sizing options available. On an average, this works perfectly. My sister, I and a few of my friends, we all use a small size cup. To be absolutely 100% sure, you can always measure yourself. Number one is diameter. If you have given birth and have been pregnant, then a large size would work for you. And if you are below 25 or 30 years of age and have not given birth, then a small or a medium size would work for you. Number two is length. For length, you basically need to measure your cervix. What to do is insert your finger inside your vagina and see how far in it goes. So if you feel your finger touch your cervix, which feels like the tip of your nose, any menstrual cup which is shorter than that length would work fine for you, if that makes sense. Finally, number three is flow. Unless you have a very heavy flow that you need to change your pad or your tampon every hour, which is very rare, specific cups which are meant for that larger capacity. But if you have an average heavier side of the flow, a small cup emptied more frequently would just work fine. If you want to know more about it, I will link some useful links in my description so you can check them out. Another very commonly asked question is which brand to get. There are plenty of options available in the market and they're all basically the same concept. I and my sister and a few of my friends use the Sirona. I've heard Gaia is good. Diva Cup is a very popular brand. Indian brand called Boond Cup. P-Safe I know makes menstrual cups. So those are the ones that come off right at the top of my head. You should definitely look at the reviews online, which really helps in gauging people's opinions and problem areas with that brand. I will continue this answer tying in with the next question, which is how to get the cup to pop open and avoid leaks. This is something which I personally struggle with a lot. A softer menstrual cup, while is easier to insert, especially for beginners, it is more difficult to get to pop open once it's inside. I would recommend don't get a very soft material wala cup, because while it is easier for you to insert it initially, you will get used to the insertion process and then struggle with getting it to open for a much longer time. So choose a brand which does not have a very soft material. I used to think that this problem of not being able to pop open is an issue with Sirona, which loses its stiffness with time, but I realized that I was making a mistake there. So Sirona on the box suggests you to boil your cup for 5 to 10 minutes. Me being my paranoid self, I would boil my cup for 10 minutes and then a couple of minutes extra at maximum flame just to be safe. Turns out you're not supposed to do that. My sister boils her cup for 5 to 7 minutes and at a low flame. Just as long as the water is boiling, that's sufficient. So that is something I've learned that you're not supposed to do, because she doesn't face this problem of her cup softening over time. Now for a few tips on getting it to open inside. Number one is when it's folding and you notice that it's not opening, you can push this point where it folds, and that kind of will put pressure niche se, and it might help to open up your cup. Number two is, instead of putting it in all the way and then getting it to open, wo agar nahi ho raha hai, try and put it in halfway and then try to make it open and then push it higher up. So you'll have to find that sweet spot in the middle, because if it's too low then wo niche hi khul jayega and then it won't go up, and if it's too high then wo khulega hi nahi, the problem that we're trying to solve. So you'll have to find that middle point where it can go up, it can open, and then you can push it higher up either from the base or from the sides. Number three is thoda up and down tugging you'll have to do. Turn it around a little bit, and that again might put pressure on the walls. If you are unsure about the leaks, you can always wear a cloth pad or line your underwear with a panty liner, or wear period underwear, the ones that absorb blood. How do you get to know whether you need to trim your stem a little? So again, this comes from the height of your cervix. So if you have a very high cervix, then that means your cup has gone in all the way and it's like somewhere up here and you don't feel the stem at all. So for me, I don't feel the stem at all. But if you do have a low or a medium height with cervix, then, and if the stem does stick out and it causes discomfort, then you can trim it a little bit depending on how much you need it. I'd recommend doing little by little because a trial and error, a slow process is much better than trimming it all the way and then realizing, oh no, I don't have anything to grab onto. I would not recommend trimming it all the way, because this is something which really helps during the taking out process, and especially for beginners, I would not recommend trimming the stem. Next question is it easy to get out, and after how many hours do you need to change? It's all a matter of practice, I'd say. Initially, I really struggled with the insertion as well as the removal process, but within a few days, you get used to it, and after a month or two, you'll get comfortable with it. As for the wear time, it all depends on your flow. For me, for example, I can do 10 hours without worrying. Sometimes I've even done 12. How to put it in, man? You need to relax. If your muscles are tense, the cup will not go inside. Take a deep breath in, calm yourself down, and then try it again. Is it rash free? You do not get any rashes, zero rashes. Another question is, how do you get to know that it's full? I never really fill up this cup completely, so I do not know exactly how it feels, but I did ask my sister. What she told me is, you'll get to know when the cup is empty or when it's filling up. You don't feel it at all. When it's full, you definitely feel something heavy and you feel the pressure. It feels like you kind of need to pee, or you feel like something is kind of being pulled downwards. And also with a few months of use, you will get to know how long it normally takes for you to fill up and what it feels like when it is full. So how to sanitize it and get it ready for the next month. After you're done with your period, you boil it again and then store it in this little pouch. Again, next month before you start using it, you need to sterilize it, so you boil it again and then it's good for use. Now, I myself contemplated for a full year before I made the switch. I think over a year. But yeah, so I do understand why it is a scary concept, and you may think that you might hurt yourself. Scary part is, I think, only initially the first time when you have to try it, the first maybe a few goes that you are still figuring out the process. But after some time, you become a pro, yaar. Should guys talk about it or only girls, as people may take a guy wrong the way he puts it? I did not expect to receive a question like this one. I thought people will only ask me menstrual cup troubleshooting problems. But I'm glad that someone asked this question. Isn't something which receives the importance that it deserves. We all have a role to play. India is lacking in sex education, and there's no denying that, which is why there's so much taboo and so much misinformation around the subject. At a time like this, when there is so much information available, so many resources, so many platforms to express our opinions, I think it becomes our responsibility almost to talk about this stuff, irrespective of whether we are a male or female, non-binary. It does not matter, as long as we are talking about this stuff and spreading more awareness in order to get rid of these age-old beliefs and all the taboo. As long as you are respectful, well-meaning, well-informed, or just willing to learn, I don't think anyone would get offended or take you wrong. But if they do, then again it becomes our responsibility as a society to educate them and make them feel comfortable about it, so that we can progress towards a better and a more accepting society as a whole. So with that comes an end to this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up if you did, and please subscribe because it'll make me very happy. And oh, sorry baby, I hope I was able to help somebody out. Please share your experiences and any problems, any other problems or solutions that you guys have. Please share them in the comment section down below. Let's start a conversation and share whatever we can and help each other out. And I'll see you in my next video. Editing Meghlana just wants to apologize for the massive mess that is my hair in this video.